Hey friends, welcome back to Make Good Fashion, where we teach you how to start, launch, and grow fashion brands with purpose. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Today, we're going to talk all about how to prepare for your very first trade show, fashion trade show specifically. So, you have invested in your very first fashion trade show, and I'm so excited for you. I know that you invested a lot to do this because trade shows are not cheap. So, I want to make sure that you are equipped and prepared to kill it. I want to make sure that you see some results and get some return on that investment. And so today I'm going to give you some tips on how to prepare for your very first trade show so it can be an absolute success. So, first things first, let's talk about the assets that you're going to need, the materials that you're going to need. So, one thing that you're going to need is your line sheet. And I've done a couple videos about line sheets when it comes to wholesale. So, make sure to subscribe to our channel and watch some of our wholesale videos, and you will see exactly what I mean. But line sheets are basically catalogs that have your products in it, has your wholesale and retail costs in it, has all the details of each product, and you will need these on hand at a trade show so that you can give them to the buyers that come and visit your booth. This is an essential part. And sometimes I see people do it on USBs or digitally, but I think it's also great to have a hard copy on you at the trade show as well. And so, again, a line sheet is basically just a catalog with your products, the prices, and details. And at makegoodfashion.com/shop, we have a template for this. That's a plug and play template. So if you're interested in one of these, I'm going to include the link in the description so you can get your line sheet. Aside from the line sheet, it's also nice to have a lookbook. And the lookbook is different in the way that it's just photos, right? Your lookbook will be a catalog of photos from the collection that you will be selling at the trade show. And the lookbook is just nice to have aside from the line sheet because the line sheet typically has smaller photos in it of your product. And I think this gives the buyers, store buyers, a better visual of how the items look on the body, how they look in movement, and you can create the whole lifestyle of your brand through a lookbook instead of just having the clothes on the rack. So it's always great to have a lookbook. Another thing that is great to bring that sometimes people skip out on, but I think is really important is a little gift for buyers and people who are coming by your booth, right? So this is something that you want to give away that is not only a gift to say thank you for visiting us, but also something that they're going to remember you by. So maybe it's a sticker with your brand name on it, or maybe it's a keychain that has your branding on it. Whatever it may be, make sure it's something that they will always remember your brand by, and it's something that's actually useful or something that they're going to actually want and not trash, right? So again, things that I've seen done are like branded socks, keychains, pins. Just think of something that's on brand for you and that, again, your buyers will love. Okay, so moving on from assets, you're also going to want to actually bring the clothes that you're going to sell, a sample of each piece from your line. And if you can get all the colors there, that's great too, so that the buyers will be able to see your product and all the variants that it comes in and get to feel and try things on. And you want to make sure that the samples represent what you're going to be selling in production. I think a lot of times brands will try to bring samples that are not that great. But you want to have the best representation possible at the trade show. You also want to dress up your booth a little bit. Trade shows, I think they have their own standard of what you're able to do, and you don't want to go too crazy where you're creating a distraction from the actual product, but you actually want it on brand and create some kind of experience so that when your buyers and the visitors to your booth step into your booth, they can feel what the brand is all about without you having to say it. Another thing you want to keep in mind is that once you have all the samples out, you also want to tag the samples to make it really easy for buyers to understand the details of the product. So if you are busy with another buyer and your booth gets really busy during the trade show, having tags on each piece that has the style number, the colors it comes in, the wholesale price, the retail price on it, just has everything explained on it is really helpful because that will allow for the buyers to be able to see the product details without you having to tell them and for without you having to lose a customer because you weren't able to be there to help them. Now, let's say that you're not able to get every sample there on time. At least bring different sketches or photographs that you have or fabric swatches so that the buyers can see what is available to them. Another tip, and this is the most important thing I'm going to say for this entire video, so make sure that you listen up to this very clearly. And this is a tip in regards to before you even get to the trade show on things that you should be doing. One thing that's super, super important is that you're actually scheduling appointments before you attend the trade show. Now, a misconception that people have is that they're going to sign up for this trade show, you're going to set up your booth, and then buyers from every store are going to start flocking to want to see your product. And that's just not true. You want to make sure that you are securing appointments with buyers before you even get to the show and also a few weeks to a month in advance. And what this will look like is you should be creating, before you even get to the trade show, a potential retailer list or a target retailer list. And what this looks like is the stores that you would dream about being stocked in, from little stores to larger stores. I want you to start creating a list of who those stores would be. And you're just going to have to do your research. And you can do this by just Googling and looking at different regions that you think your brand would do well in. So if you think your brand would do well in beach cities, you can look up like, what are the retail stores that exist in San Diego, California, and start researching like that and just compiling a list of stores that you believe will work well with your brand. And once you've done that, you want to start reaching out to the stores. And I think the best and most efficient way to do this is start to cold call. Sometimes you can go on retail stores' websites and get some contact information, but I really believe that you can get the best information by cold calling. Also, LinkedIn, and I'll explain the both of those and how you would go about that. So, how cold calling will work is that you will call the store and you can introduce yourself and let them know that you have a brand that you think will work well with the store and ask them for a buying contact. Who is your store buyer? And a lot of bigger stores will have buyers for each category. So, for women, for men's, for tops, bottoms. But if you're dealing with a smaller boutique, there usually is just one buyer. So, you want to ask for the buyer's contact. And if they have an email that you can reach out to, a lot of times they're not going to give you their personal number, but sometimes you can get a personal email for the buyer and a name. So a name and an email is just fine. And you want to put this on the list of your stores that you've created so you can start to document each store. Who is the buyer for that store and what is their email? And so once you have a list compiled through cold calling, and then with LinkedIn, for example, LinkedIn is a great tool because you can just search the name of the store and then you can see the people who work at that store. See if you can find a buying contact. Sometimes people have their emails attached to their LinkedIn, or you can just send them a message directly on LinkedIn. So once you've compiled all your contacts, whether it be from LinkedIn, cold calling, whatever, you want to start emailing them and emailing them maybe with a picture of your line in the body of the email. So there's a visual right away, and let them know, hey, we're going to be showing at whatever trade show you're going to be showing at. Give them your booth number, send over a line sheet. We think our brand would work super well with your store. You know, we've seen success in our online store, wherever you've seen success proven. It's always great to give those details. You can explain a little bit more about what you do and ask them if they will be going to that trade show to see the collection in person. We'd love to set up an appointment with you if you will be at that trade show. And so this is a great way secure appointments with retail partners if you don't have existing relationships with retail partners. Of course, if you had existing relationships with retail stores that your brand was stocked in, you can just call them and say, hey, we're going to be at this trade show. Are you going to be here? We'd love to show you the collection in person, and then schedule those appointments for the trade shows like that. So again, you want to make sure you do this beforehand because it is harder to just find stray buyers at the trade show. You're going to feel a lot better if you actually have some appointments scheduled beforehand and that you can get people in and see the stores that you actually really want to see, right? So that is my number one tip when it comes to preparing for a trade show. You also want to, little odds and ends, come with a steamer so you can make sure you're steaming your clothes. And so they look their absolute best. You want to come with a lint roller and all those things. You want to make sure. One thing I forgot to say in assets, you want to have an order form so you can take orders on the spot and make sure you can get the orders there and not try to get them when you get back home. All of these little things are going to come in handy. So I hope that was helpful to you. I know it was kind of scattered and all over the place, but you want to always do the pre-work and make sure you have everything together. Now, I'm sure there's maybe things I have missed, but I've been doing trade shows for so long. So if there's any questions that you have for me about how you can prepare for a trade show that you have coming up or the best practices, make sure to leave me a question in the comments and I will make sure to respond to you as quick as I can with those answers. 'Cause I want to help you guys succeed. I want to help you guys avoid some mistakes that I have made in my career, in my business. And so ask me anything, and I'll be happy to answer. And also, you guys, if you are interested in expanding your fashion brand into wholesale and you want to know a little bit more about that process and how it works and how to secure your retail partners, you guys have to come to this workshop that I'm hosting. And this is a masterclass on how to start up that wholesale part of your business. And by the end of this workshop, you guys, you are going to be ready to reach out to stores and secure your very first partnerships. And so if that sounds interesting to you, go to makegoodfashion.com/wholesale. Again, that's makegoodfashion.com/wholesale. And you can register for absolutely free to attend that workshop. And you guys, you're going to love it. I'm going to add all of my secrets into it so that you guys can be set up for success and you can finally take the leap of faith and open up this channel, sales channel in your business. So I'm also going to include the link in the description, but again, it's makegoodfashion.com/wholesale if you're interested in that. And if this video was helpful to you, you guys make sure to subscribe and like it so more people will be able to glean off of this content and get the help they need for their fashion business. And also, it's just validation for me to know that this is actually helping you and that you want more content like this. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time on another episode of Make Good Fashion. Bye.